Welcome back to the Speaking and Communicating podcast. I am your host, Roberta Ndlela. If you are looking to improve your communication skills, both professionally and personally, this is the podcast you should be tuning into. Communication and soft skills are crucial for your career growth and leadership development. And by the end of this episode, please log on to Apple and Spotify and leave us a rating and a review. Now, so many of us struggle not only in our personal relationships when dating and trying to find a mate, but even when we find one and we are married, sometimes communication can be quite a challenge. My guest today, June Edward, who is a relationship mastery expert and psychic medium, is here to show us how to improve our relationships personally and professionally. And before I go any further, please help me welcome her to the show. Hi, June.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Welcome to the show. Before we get into the meaty part of the conversation, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a relationship expert, and basically people used to come to me for readings wanting to know about relationships more than anything else. And what I did was I created a program that teaches people how energy works, because we're all energetic beings. Everything in the universe is energy. And when you understand how energy works, you can basically have anything you want in this world. We're like magnets. We're always either attracting or repelling it at any given time. So I developed the relationship mastery program, and I originally geared that towards people that were having difficulty in their romantic relationships, whether it was a divorce or a separation. And I don't work with couples. I work with one person, because it only takes one person to make or break any situation. For every action, there's an equal or greater reaction. And when you change, everything around you changes. It's how it works. So that was extremely successful. And as a result of that, I wrote my book, my latest book, which is a bestseller, All's Fair in Love and Karma. And that's based on what I learned from teaching that program about energy, the 5 lessons that our souls are all here to learn so that we can advance. And communication and balance is one of the biggest lessons we all have to learn. It's one of the 5 soul lessons.
Very true. And that's why we invited you to be here today. Here's I think the question I have regarding the work that you do, the psychic work and energy, because if you say to me, so let me ask, when I come to you, do you tell me what could potentially happen in my life, or do you say, I need to change my energy, raise my vibration, raise my energy levels first?
It would really depend on what you're coming to me for. If you're just coming for a reading, then I'll give you a reading. If you want to do the program, then yes, I would teach you how to change your energy, because that changes your life.
Right.
So if you think of a radio station, okay, you can't get the radio station in unless you're on the right frequency, right?
That's absolutely
and it's
true,
the same thing with every person in your life. You attract them based on your energetic frequency. They need to be on the same frequency as you, and that's everyone that you pull in your life. So let's just say you're pulling in employees that are subpar. They're not what you're looking for. Or you're looking for a better job, or you're looking to improve your sales, anything like that. And you're just not getting the quality or enough of what you're looking for. When you raise your vibration, that whole frequency changes. Now, everything you start to attract in your life is going to be of a higher vibration.
Right. Which then the opposite, I'm guessing, is true. You know how sometimes we say, I don't want this, and we say the negative thing. I don't want a toxic relationship. I don't want an abusive boyfriend. But then that's what you end up attracting. What happens there?
So the universe, I teach people how the universe works as well. And the universe does not understand your negativity. The universe only hears, I tell people, it's like you're trying to cross a street, okay? And you keep saying, I don't want to get hit by a car. I don't want to get hit by a car. The only thing the universe hears is hit by a car. So guaranteed you're going to get hit by a car. This is how it works. The universe does not hear your negativity. It only hears the rest of the message.
Choose your language very carefully. Is that why then, because you're talking about attracting and repelling, so why don't I repel the thing that I don't want if I say that? What
Because
am I repelling when I
because
repel?
you're being negative. It's low vibration is what repels. So let me give you another example.
Okay.
Say you're in a relationship. This is how the law of attraction works, okay?
Mhm.
But with the law of attraction, you have to learn how to balance your energy out so you can maintain it once you've raised your vibration. But in any relationship, okay, you've attracted someone who's on the same frequency as you, whether it's an employer, a boss, a romantic relationship, a best friend, it doesn't matter who it is. You've attracted someone on that same energetic vibration, okay? And once you're together for a long period of time, something triggers an energy buildup. And instead of you continually attracting, your magnet flips and now you start repelling. This is why it's so important to balance your energy. And if you separate for a while and don't see each other for a while, you give the energy the opportunity to balance and settle down, and then you can get back together again. But the same thing will continue to happen until you learn how to balance your energy.
Right. It says on your bio also that you've been a psychic since childhood. Is that normal or possible to be a child and have this gift?
So everybody's born with it. Absolutely everyone is born with it. And we lose it as we get older because we get jaded and we get told that it's not real and you don't see that over there and your best, your invisible friend is not really there and things like that. And then we focus on other things. So everyone's had a situation in their life where they just knew there was something they were supposed to do, right? Something important you're just supposed to do it and you don't think about it a lot and you just do it and it works out fine, right? That is making a decision from your soul, and that is your psychic ability. Your psychic ability is the ability to listen to your soul and connect with your soul, because that's who you truly are. You're not the suit that we're sitting in front of. We are the energy that's inside, and it's 100% energy. And thoughts are things. So where your thoughts go, your energy flows too. Do you ever think of somebody and all of a sudden they either call or show up?
Yes.
Same
Or
thing.
you wonder why you keep saying the same thing and then it happens to you.
Thoughts are things. That's where your energy goes.
But then school doesn't teach us, our parents don't know. How do we then start to listen to internally to this gift so that we cultivate it even more and get used to noticing and listening?
So you have to raise your vibration, first of all, and you have to get in touch with your soul. And the fastest and easiest way to do that is through meditation. So every single one of my books, I have a chapter on meditation and how to do it properly, because most people don't do it properly and don't teach it properly, but it's that important. And I also used to teach mediumship development and psychic development. So my first book, A Night on the Other Side, the whole book is everything that I taught in my classes. So everyone has the ability, and it's kind of like playing a piano. Some people sit down and all they're going to do is play chopsticks. Other people, want to learn a little bit, so they'll just sit down and learn to play a song or two. Other people really want to apply themselves to it, maybe become very good at it, work in the field. So, play the piano and become a concert pianist. And then I was basically the child prodigy that sits down and plays Mozart. My abilities are far, far beyond, far beyond.
Mm. And then having had, I believe at 27, you had a near-death experience. Was that also a contributor to you doing this work?
I believe it was. And I never called it a near-death experience because I knew I died. And I never had even heard the term for years. And what I found out through research, first of all, is they call it a near-death experience because scientists haven't been able to quantify it yet. And when they can, they'll call it a death. And the other thing that I found out was that less than 10% of the people that have a near-death experience make it to the level that I made it to. I literally went to heaven, the lowest level of heaven, which is the 5th dimension. We live in the 3D dimension here. Your dream state is 4D, and the lowest level of heaven is 5D. And I had a full life review. So if you can picture sitting in the front row of an IMAX movie and seeing everything in your life that was important to you and everyone that you loved or brought you joy just going by, that's what it was
Oh,
like.
so it's only good things that show in the movie.
Yes, things that
Oh,
brought you
okay.
joy,
Because I'm
things that
starting
made you
to,
happy. No,
okay.
that's what went by. And I don't know if they did that because they told me it wasn't my time and I had a choice. I could stay if I want to, or I could come back. I don't know if that was the reason why. I have no idea.
Hmm.
But I came back here by choice once I remembered my children, and that was the biggest reason that I was here and that I was supposed to be here for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what is parapsychology?
So let me just go back a little bit. So
Sorry, go ahead.
quantum physics talks about the speed of light, right?
Hmm.
And it's over 300 million miles a second. And when my soul left my body and went into that speed of light, that's a very high vibration. But then it went back into my body. So my vibration is automatically much higher than most people's. And that's the reason I believe I can connect almost instantaneously to the other side and can go back and forth between here and the fifth dimension at will and see, I see them like full figures at this point and talk to them, and yeah,
Is
kind
that
of
the
crazy.
similar to the Long Island medium? And I think, was it John Edward from the UK? Was it the same
They're
one?
all psychic mediums as well. Yep,
Right,
right.
right. And so when it comes to those gifts, how do you help people here with their relationships? Because it seems no matter how successful we are professionally, personal relationships are always the number one thing that we are always trying to work on.
So the reason is because we planned this life before we came here. And the people that are in your life are not in your life by accident. You either owe them something karmically from a past life, or they owe you. It's all about learning these 5 soul lessons. Everyone that comes into your life is trying to teach you one of these lessons. So you want to tell you what the lessons are? It might help a little bit.
Please do, yes.
So the first lesson is self-worth. And it's not value, because value is what someone else places on you. Self-worth is understanding that you are the most important person. There's no one else like you in this whole world. There's only one of you. How special are you? And it's not selfish to put yourself first. It's not narcissistic. It's where everything else comes from. If you don't take care of yourself first, you're not going to be here to take care of anybody else, right?
Right.
And it's the same thing with happiness. You know, you have to make yourself happy. It's an inside job. No one else can make you anything. It's all on you.
Mm-hmm.
And the second lesson is trust and communication. And you have to be able to communicate your wants and your needs to someone else in order for them to know what it is you're looking for. They don't know by osmosis. And you have to trust that there is a higher power, there is a plan, and the things that are happening are not happening to you. They're happening for you. They're happening for your highest and best.
Even when painful?
You wouldn't know joy if you didn't know pain, would you? Everything in the universe has to stay in balance. This is the reason for it. And sex is just another form of communication. If you can't communicate outside the bedroom, you're not going to be able to communicate inside the bedroom, are you?
Or does it fix the lack of communication if it's not there? Does the sex fix the look if it's
Absolutely
also a
not.
form of communication?
No, you're not going to have satisfying sex in the bedroom if you can't communicate outside the bedroom.
Right.
No, it is how men connect and feel closer to women. Women have to have the verbal communication because we're brain oriented and men are more visual.
Mm-hmm.
So men feel closer through sex, women feel closer through talking.
Right.
Yeah. But either way, you're not going to have it in the bedroom if you're not communicating it outside the bedroom. Then you
Okay.
have unconditional love. And unconditional love does not mean I'm staying in an abusive relationship because I love them unconditionally. That's where all the lessons start to intertwine and reinforce each other. That goes back to your self-worth. Unconditional love means we had a great run. It was wonderful when it lasted, when it was good. I love you. I want the best for you, but it's not bringing me joy. We need to part ways. That's unconditional love. Not battering him behind his back and saying, well, he was no good and blah, blah, blah. It's understanding he was there to teach you something. There's a lesson there somewhere. Maybe it is just unconditional love, possibly. And it's also, you know, if you have a child that you love, and suppose they do something horrific, like they murder a neighbor in rage, and they go to prison for the rest of their life. You don't like what the child did, but you're going to still love the child, right?
Yeah.
That's unconditional love. That's just another
To be able to
example of it.
separate the act from the person.
Exactly. And it's the same thing, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, doesn't matter. I mean, everything's a relationship. We're having a relationship right here. Everything happened for a reason.
Right.
Then you have money and balance, and money is energy. That's why it's called currency. And it's what we use in this lifetime to show whether or not your life is in balance. So if all you do is work and hoard your money, you're going to be completely out of balance because you're not going to have any time for your friends, your family, or even for your own hobbies, right? And then if you're just hoarding your money, you don't even value yourself enough to spend the fruits of your labor on yourself. So then the lesson of self-worth is going to kick in at that time, right? So again, they're going to keep on reinforcing each other. And the last lesson is patience. We live in a society right now where everyone wants everything right now. It's instant, instant gratification.
Yeah.
They want it now. And it doesn't work that way. It comes at the time that it's supposed to come in your life. And you can't force it. You cannot push that door open. If it's not supposed to happen now, it's not going to happen. And when it is supposed to happen, you're not going to be able to stop it. It's that simple. So you have to enjoy every day and go back to the trust that there's a purpose and there's a plan for the way things are happening. And it's very easy, they say hindsight is 20/20. It's very easy to look back and see how everything in your life has been connected. And one event brought you to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, right? It's very hard to trust going forward. But when you learn how the universe works, and I also teach people how the angels work because they're real and they're always trying to give you clues through numeric code and numbers and symbols to show you where you're supposed to go, to put you on the path that you're supposed to be on. So when you can understand how all that works and see why things are happening, when you get in touch with your soul, you can see it from a higher perspective. You don't get pulled into the quagmire of all the drama that happens. And you have to remember, did everybody see the movie Avatar? I was so thrilled when that came out because that's what this is. We are living a play right now or a movie. And your soul, most of it's not in your body because it's so big. Some of it's in your body, some of it's the aura that you see over your body that people can see, and the rest of it is in the fifth dimension that is orchestrating the timing of the events that happen in your life. But if you're not in touch with your soul during the day and they're trying to give you messages or put you on a certain path, when you go to sleep at night, more of your soul leaves your body and it goes up to that, the middle 4D is your dream state. And if they're trying to give you a message, they'll come down from 5D to 4D and meet you. And you'll know it's a message, not a dream or a visit, because it feels real. You wake up right away and you remember it.
Yeah,
that's not a dream.
That happens.
Yeah, that is a message or a visit. Absolutely. And those are very important. I tell everybody, keep a pen and paper next to your bed so you can write it down. And the next day, figure out what it was they're trying to get to you. What are they trying to tell you? Because your soul has all the answers, but if you're not connecting to it, you're not going to have the answer.
Because a lot of us don't know how to connect, how to
through meditation.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
To pay attention to those clues. Sorry, go ahead, June.
Yeah, so my book on Night on the Other Side has all of that in there. I teach all of that. Those clues are always there. They're always, even your family that's passed to the other side, they're always trying to put you on the right path. It's like they're always trying to contact you, banging on the door, it's like a two-way mirror. They can see you, they can hear you. Some of them can even touch you. Sometimes you feel the static electricity and stuff, or they can move objects, but you're not hearing them if you're not paying attention. So it's like they're banging on the glass saying, I'm here, listen to me.
But we have so much going on, work, technology, things we need to do, not enough hours in the 24-hour day. So this really requires.
You have to take breaks here and there. You take a bathroom break, right? Take a coffee break, right? Take a 20-minute break. Reconnect with your soul. It calms you right down, gives you more clarity. It's just like I come from the business world. I was running 5 businesses at once at one time. And how do I keep that straight? I compartmentalize. Men are really good at this. They compartmentalize everything. Women, it's a little tougher. So you have to manually do it. I had my appointment book that I would have everything logged, So I knew what I was doing when I was doing it, so I don't go crazy, because seriously, we have no control in this world. We really don't. It's a crazy world, and this is why we have routine and we set alarm clocks to try to have some control over stuff that we don't have control over. But if you're able to learn to listen to your soul and you understand how the energy works, you can just kind of relax a little bit and understand that things are coming to you. Things are always coming to you if you're attracting them. And anything you want, once you've put it out to the universe, they're really working on bringing it to you. Some stuff shows up instantaneously. Other things might take a little longer depending on what it is because of the timing. But it's amazing, the things, anything you want, honestly, you can have. With the law of attraction, is absolutely incredible.
I'm about to say, it almost sounded ironic earlier when you said we don't have control over what's happening, but then the law of attraction or the secret teaches us you can create your life the way you want it.
You
So
absolutely can.
it sounds like there is some level of control, so to speak.
It's not really control, it's a matter of design. Okay, so, you have designed this lifetime a certain way. And there are certain things that have to happen and certain people that you need to meet, certain jobs you're going to have, all those types of things. But sometimes it's the little things, like when I wanted to buy a new car during COVID. And, I'm looking for it and I got very disappointed because they stopped importing them in 2018 because it's a diesel. And I'm looking, all I'm finding is used ones for $40,000 with 30,000 miles. And I'm like, this really stinks. Wait 2 hours, and in my email shows up from a dealership an email with a brand new one on the showroom floor, a leftover, at the same price as a used one with no miles, full warranty.
Brand new?
Brand spanking new.
Wow.
So this is what I'm talking about. It's, once you ask for something, they will bring it as long as you trust and you communicate to them what your wants and your needs are.
And you stay tuned like that radio frequency.
It's all about the higher frequency. Exactly.
Right. So now let's talk about the one thing, as I said earlier, personal relationships are very important to us. How do you attract the right partner, and how do you know that that person is now here?
So people are going to be coming into your life because they're supposed to. There's no accidents, okay? And so if you're single and you're dating, I'm single, I date. It used to be, I for a long time, I would just laugh and I'm like, yep, it's the big cosmic joke. Every person that I meet and you bring me is in the middle of a huge awakening. They're just recovering alcoholics. Have gone through the divorce, but they're on the verge of awakening and I'm the missing link. So I explain to them how everything works. I leave them with my first book. Bye. Most of them end up being clients down the road.
Wow, that ends up well.
But it's what the universe does.
Right.
So what you need to do is put your intention out to the universe of what you're looking for, and I guarantee you they'll bring them.
Speaking of that, how specific should you be? I've heard people say, I wrote that he should be this tall and that he should live across the street from me and that he should play. Some people get to be that specific.
So if you, and if it's a specific person that you're looking for too, they will eventually bring him, but that's where patience come in. It could take 10 years. If you're willing to wait that time, that's fine. If you want to be that specific, that you want a specific person and you want something that detailed. However, one of my students wanted to get married. She was dating a restaurateur. They had a baby together and he did not want to get married. He had been previously married. He was busy running his restaurants. He didn't want to get married. So she went through my program. She put her intentions out that she wanted to get married. She started dating and ignoring him because he was ignoring her. She ended up with 4 marriage proposals. And
after how long working with you?
The program's only 7 weeks. So it took her maybe less than 6 months. And she had 4 marriage proposals. One of them was him.
The guy who said he didn't want to get married.
Yep. And
That's
also 3 other
interesting.
guys that she was dating, every one of them asked her to marry them. Yeah.
So do you think, I'm not asking for a specific answer, but do you think he energetically changed or she's the one who changed to change
So
his mind?
when you change, everything around you changes, because
Mm,
for every action, there's an equal or greater reaction. So when you do something differently, everyone else has to do something differently because the same old thing doesn't work anymore.
right.
It changes the entire dynamic of everyone in your life.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And then the last thing I wanted to ask you before you go, what really is a midlife crisis? Because other than buying a Lamborghini, when you, what is a
So
midlife crisis? What actually happens?
So there's a couple of different things that could happen for midlife crisis. First of all, it could be that you have planned that point in your life where something's going to happen to you so that you realize that there's a bigger picture, that you don't have to be stuck in the 9 to 5 doldrum, that you're here for a bigger reason. You're here to enjoy this lifetime. And, it's a mini vacation along with, paying back your karma and learning your lessons. You're supposed to be enjoying your life here. But
Right.
if you've planned it around that time frame, plus our lives break down in 13-year cycles. So around 52 would be that midlife crisis. According to your 13-year cycle, you're starting your fourth 13-year cycle. And your fourth 13-year cycle is also in
65?
it's in Uranus, so it's all
Okay.
about surprises. Because you're ruled by 7 planets. So it's all
Ah.
about surprises as well. So everything fits in there for that 13-year cycle. And the other thing that also could happen to trigger that is if you are not listening to your soul. And let's say you've been in a dead-end job for a lot of years that you're really unhappy and you just can't muster up, what happens if I leave my job? I may never have a better one, blah, blah, blah.
Which
If
is how a
you
lot of us fear when we fear change. We actually,
Right.
yes,
So
the
when that
uncertainty.
happens, the universe will step in and make it happen. You'll get fired, the place will burn down, the job will be eliminated. The universe will step in if you can't do it for yourself. That's how it works. So keep in mind, we all have a brain in our head, right? For the most
Yeah.
part. But your
Yes.
brain is nothing more than a computer. It's a computer. It helps you process all the information that you have. It's not who you are. Now, your brain has a very specific job. Your brain's job is to protect you. How does it do that? It does it by creating fear. So people are making their decisions based on fear. When you make a decision based on fear, it's a crapshoot. It works
Mm.
out 50% of the time, and you're always questioning the decision. When you learn how to connect with your soul and you make that decision from your soul, it's the right decision 100% of the time, and you never question it. You just follow it, and it works out amazing. That's the
Mm.
difference.
And that one from your soul usually does not make logical, factual sense with the information you have in front of you.
I opened up a 5,000 square foot daycare for 125 kids with no experience, no background in it, 3 little kids, one was 10 months old, and 10 grand in my pocket. And everybody was like, "You're crazy. What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just know I'm supposed to do this." And I did it, and it worked out perfect. It was amazing. And it was the first of, I had 2 that size at that point after.
Mm.
Yeah.
It really does not have the logical reasoning behind that decision. And please, lastly, tell us about your book, All's Fair in Love and Karma, when we are used to all's fair love and war.
Well, karma is very important. So karma is, you make karma if you do something wrong to someone in your lifetime and you don't make amends.
Mm.
So now when you come back in another lifetime, you're going to owe them. So say you stole money from someone, you didn't pay them back. The next lifetime, maybe they're going to be your boss and they're going to be in charge of your money, and you're going to learn how money works. They'll either teach you a lesson, they're going to be in your life in a big way. But so we have 3 types of relationships. We have the twin flame relationship, which is extremely rare. Everybody thinks they have one after The Secret came out. That's not the
Yeah.
case. And they're not these wonderful relationships that everyone wants. They're extremely tough relationships. They are a soulmate and a karmic relationship on steroids. They only last for a few weeks up to a few months. They put you on the path that you're supposed to be on in life. And then you part ways, and it's heartbreaking. So, I don't recommend everybody wanting one, because trust me, you wouldn't. But then you have the karmic relationship, and that is literally you get together because someone owes someone from a previous relationship. So you're there to either learn a lesson or teach a lesson, and they never feel comfortable. It always feels like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, or you're always looking over your shoulder. There's just
Looking
something
for the
not
red
right.
flags.
There's just, yeah, you're looking for those red flags. That's a karmic relationship. And when one or the other learns their lesson, it ends immediately. It's like you wake up one morning and you're like, what am I doing with this person? I'm out of here. And if you both learn your lesson, it ends amicably. If only one learns the lesson, it ends, but it's not amicable. And then you have the soulmate relationship. And the soulmate relationship is also there to teach you, but you're also there to get love and affection at the same time. So it's a much nicer relationship. You feel like you've known each other a long time. It's comfortable. And you have thousands of karmic people that you get in a relationship with, and thousands of soulmates that you can get into a relationship with as well.
So it's not just one soulmate that I'm looking for across the ocean. Okay.
There's plenty. And we reincarnate every lifetime in the same soul group. Okay. So, and any of them can last a limited amount of time or a long time. Once you've learned your lesson with a soulmate relationship, you can stay in that relationship. You can continue on with them. It really depends on what you wrote in your life plan. Some people get one person and they stay with them forever. What I found is that the people have the more difficult life, and the more rocky road have a higher responsibility. They have a higher life plan here. There's something they're supposed to be doing and giving back.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Usually the more advanced souls have the more difficult lives.
We usually hear that whether in religion or whatever spiritual teacher preaches that principle, but it's very hard to accept,
So I used to think that everybody had a higher purpose here and had more that they're supposed to be doing. And then I realized that that's not necessarily the case. You have souls, you have people that are, much more advanced, and their souls are much more advanced than some of the others. And some of them just decided that this time I'm coming around here, I'm just going to relax. I want one wife. I want one job. I want to work 9 to 5, and I want a vacation 4 weeks a year. And that's it. And that's what they've done. And they're happy with that, because this is what they wanted this time. And you can't begrudge anybody that.
Simple. No, and not everybody's life has to be the same, for sure.
Everyone's is different.
This has been so eye-opening, and even though I've heard some of the concepts, but a lot of it has been very new. Thank you very much for sharing your work and all this wisdom with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And people can go to my website, juneedwood.com, and there's links to all my books. There's a free webinar on energy that people can watch as well, so that they see if they connect to that and have any more interest in the program. There's also lots of different webinars. There's a lot of videos from my students that are on there that went through the program to see how their lives has changed. It's amazing.
Absolutely. JuneEdward.com for all this information, all the books and the testimonials from those who have worked with June. Thank you very much, June from Florida.
You're very welcome from Georgia.
My pleasure. This has been absolutely awesome. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating and a review on Apple and Spotify, and stay tuned for more episodes to come.